Chapter 1: The Healer of Harmony Street. In the heart of a bustling city, where the gleaming skyscrapers towered like sentinels of progress and luxury cars roared past cobblestone alleys, there was a small oasis of compassion nestled on Harmony Street. This street, though modest in comparison to the high-rises and glamorous boutiques nearby, was home to something that transcended the material: Dr. Eleanor Hayes's clinic. The clinic's sign, though faded by time and the elements, still read clearly: Dr. Eleanor Hayes, compassionate care for all. Dr. Hayes, a woman in her mid-50s with a demeanor that spoke of quiet strength and boundless empathy, was well known throughout the neighborhood. Her gentle eyes, framed by crow's feet that spoke of countless smiles and sleepless nights, and her warm, inviting smile were the very embodiment of the kindness she extended to every person who walked through her door. Her reputation for exceptional medical care was matched only by her unwavering commitment to helping those in need, regardless of their financial status. Each morning, Dr. Hayes would don her white coat, the fabric slightly rumpled from its resting place on a hook in her small but well-kept home. As she walked the short distance to her clinic, her coat swayed gently in the breeze, a symbol of her dedication and a familiar sight to the locals. Harmony Street itself was a blend of modest homes and small, bustling shops. The aroma of fresh bread from the corner bakery mingled with the scent of sizzling street vendor fare, creating a comforting, homely atmosphere. The street was alive with the chatter of neighbors and the laughter of children playing, a stark contrast to the sterile environments of most medical facilities. Dr. Hayes's clinic was an unassuming building with a welcoming facade. Inside, it was warm and inviting, with walls adorned with colorful drawings from young patients and shelves filled with medical supplies and comforting trinkets. The waiting room was always filled with a diverse mix of people, some in finely tailored suits and others in clothes that had seen better days. Despite the differences in their appearances, everyone shared a common bond of trust and hope, believing in the compassion and skill of the doctor they were about to see. Dr. Hayes held a steadfast belief that no one should be denied medical attention because of their financial situation. For years, she had offered her services to those who could not afford to pay, operating on a model of generosity that drew people from all corners of the city. Her clinic was not just a place of healing, but a sanctuary where the rich and the poor could find solace and care. One particularly chilly morning in late autumn, as a biting wind rustled the fallen leaves on the ground, a young woman named Maria walked into the clinic. Her clothes were worn and threadbare, and her face was a map of worry and fatigue. She was accompanied by her two small children, their faces pale and tired. The youngest, a little girl named Lily, was wrapped in a blanket, her cheeks flushed with fever. Maria's heart pounded with a mixture of desperation and hope. For days, Lily had been running a high fever, her tiny body shivering despite the layers of clothing Maria had managed to bundle her in. The thought of not being able to provide medical care for her child was unbearable, and Maria's financial situation left her with no options. Her meager earnings from odd jobs barely covered the basics, leaving no room for medical expenses. As they entered the waiting room, the atmosphere was filled with the usual hum of quiet conversations and the occasional cough. The sight of Maria and her children, however, caught Dr. Hayes's attention immediately. Her heart ached with empathy as she observed the strained look on Maria's face and the pallor of little Lily. Without hesitation, Dr. Hayes approached them with her characteristic warmth. "Please, come in," Dr. Hayes said softly, her voice a gentle balm to Maria's frayed nerves. She guided them to an examination room, her presence exuding a calm that began to ease the tight knot of anxiety in Maria's chest. The examination room was modest but well-equipped, with a large window letting in soft morning light that bathed the space in a gentle glow. Dr. Hayes's hands were practiced and delicate as she examined Lily, her touch soothing as she assessed the child's condition. She asked Maria a series of questions about Lily's symptoms, her voice steady and reassuring, giving Maria the space to voice her concerns and fears. After a thorough examination, Dr. Hayes sat back and offered a soft smile. "It looks like Lily has a viral infection," she said, her tone full of warmth and reassurance. "It's nothing that a bit of rest and some medication can't handle. I'll make sure you have everything you need to care for her, and we'll keep a close eye on her progress." Maria's eyes filled with tears, a mix of relief and gratitude washing over her. The weight of her worry seemed to lift, replaced by a profound sense of hope. "Thank you, Dr. Hayes. I don't know what I would have done without you," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. Dr. Hayes reached out and patted Maria's hand gently. "You don't need to worry. I'm here to help," she said, her eyes reflecting the sincerity of her words. In that simple gesture, Maria felt a deep sense of comfort and reassurance. As Dr. Hayes prepared a prescription and provided Maria with detailed instructions for Lily's care, the warmth of the clinic and the kindness of the doctor seemed to envelop them in a cocoon of hope. Maria left the clinic with a renewed sense of hope, and as she walked back to her modest home, she felt the weight of her worries lessen, buoyed by the compassion she had received. Dr. Hayes watched them leave with a sense of fulfillment. Each day brought its own challenges, but moments like these reminded her of why she had chosen this path. The clinic on Harmony Street was more than a place of healing. It was a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of empathy, and a sanctuary for all who needed it. Dr. Hayes' unwavering dedication to her patients was a reminder that, even in a world often driven by material concerns, there was a place for kindness and compassion. As the morning gave way to afternoon, the clinic continued its steady rhythm of providing care. The waiting room buzzed with the familiar hum of conversations and the soft rustle of medical papers. Each patient who walked through the door was met with the same warmth and dedication, their stories and struggles met with the understanding and skill of Dr. Hayes. In the heart of the bustling city, amidst the clamor of progress and luxury, Harmony Street stood as a testament to the enduring power of human connection and kindness. And at the center of it all was Dr. Eleanor Hayes, whose compassionate care was a beacon of hope for all who crossed her path. Chapter 2: The Ripple Effect. In the months following the incident with Maria and Lily, the story of Dr. Eleanor Hayes' compassionate care began to spread beyond the modest confines of Harmony Street. Her clinic, once a sanctuary for those in immediate need, had become a symbol of hope and a testament to the power of kindness. Dr. Hayes' reputation grew, not because she sought recognition, but because her action spoke louder than words. Despite the growing acclaim, she remained steadfastly humble, finding her reward in the simple knowledge that she made a difference in the lives of those who needed it most. One crisp morning in early spring, a new patient walked into the clinic, adding a new chapter to the growing legacy of Dr. Hayes. His name was Mr. Arthur Thompson, an elderly man who bore the weight of years on his stooped back and wore a coat that had seen better days. His face, lined with age and hardship, reflected a life of struggle, but his eyes held a glimmer of hope. Mr. Thompson had been enduring chronic pain in his joints for years, a condition that had worsened over time. His meager pension barely stretched to cover his basic needs, leaving him with no means to seek medical help. Despite his own discomfort, Mr. Thompson's visit to Dr. Hayes was driven by more than a desire to alleviate his suffering. He had heard of Dr. Hayes's generosity and had been inspired by the stories of her unwavering commitment to those in need. With a deep sense of respect and gratitude, he entered the clinic, hoping to find relief and to contribute in some way to the spirit of kindness that he had come to admire. Dr. Hayes greeted Mr. Thompson with the same warmth she extended to all her patients. She guided him to the examination room, where the soft light filtered through the blinds, casting a gentle glow on the space. Her hands, though seasoned by years of medical practice, were tender and attentive as she examined Mr. Thompson's joints. After a thorough assessment, she provided him with a prescription for medication to manage his pain and offered practical advice for easing his discomfort. But more than the medical treatment, it was her genuine interest in his stories that made Mr. Thompson feel valued and respected. As Dr. Hayes listened to Mr. Thompson recount his past as a carpenter, his voice tinged with both pride and nostalgia, she realized the depth of his connection to his work. He spoke of building homes for families, of the satisfaction he had derived from crafting spaces that brought warmth and safety to others. Inspired by Dr. Hayes's selflessness, Mr. Thompson felt a renewed sense of purpose. He decided that he wanted to give back in the way he knew best, through his skills as a carpenter. Armed with his old tools and a modest budget, Mr. Thompson began volunteering his time to repair and improve homes for families in need throughout the city. His work, though modest compared to the grand structures he had once built, brought significant comfort and safety to those he helped. Word of Mr. Thompson's efforts quickly spread, and he became a local hero of sorts, embodying the ripple effect of Dr. Hayes's influence. As the months rolled by, the spirit of giving that Dr. Hayes had cultivated continued to spread through the community. Local businesses, inspired by Dr. Hayes's example, began donating supplies and resources to support the clinic and other charitable efforts. Volunteers of all ages and backgrounds offered their time and skills, contributing to a growing network of support that extended well beyond Harmony Street. The impact of this collective generosity was profound. Families who had once struggled to make ends meet found themselves the beneficiaries of community support. Children received not only medical care but also educational supplies and recreational opportunities. Elders like Mr. Thompson found a renewed sense of purpose and community, their contributions adding to the collective well-being of the neighborhood. Dr. Hayes's clinic remained a beacon of healing, but its influence had grown to encompass a broader movement of compassion. The clinic's waiting room, once filled with patients seeking relief, now echoed with stories of collective effort and shared kindness. It was no longer just a place of medical care, it had become a hub of community spirit, where people came not only for treatment, but also to engage in acts of giving and support. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, Dr. Hayes walked home through the streets that had become a testament to the ripple effect of her work. The soft glow of streetlights illuminated homes where families gathered for meals, children played freely, and a palpable sense of unity filled the air. The neighborhood, once characterized by its struggles, now thrived with a renewed sense of community and connection. As Dr. Hayes walked, she reflected on the transformation that had taken place. While she knew that she had not changed the world overnight, she took solace in the knowledge that she had sparked a movement of compassion that would endure. Her life's work had extended far beyond the confines of her clinic, touching lives in ways she had never anticipated. In her heart, Dr. Hayes felt a profound sense of fulfillment. She had not only healed bodies but had also nurtured a spirit of generosity that would persist long after her tenure at the clinic. The legacy of the kind doctor who examined the poor for free had become a testament to the power of empathy and the incredible impact one person's kindness could have on an entire community. As she arrived home and looked out over the vibrant, transformed neighborhood, Dr. Hayes knew that her work was far from over. The ripple effect of her compassion would continue to spread, inspiring others to embrace the spirit of giving and to contribute to the collective well-being of their communities. The story of her clinic was not just a tale of medical care, it was a living testament to the profound and enduring impact of kindness and community.